Shar, and this is the And Other Stories podcast, where I read stories of the supernatural and criminal, both real and fictional, works of fiction written by me. Today we're going to have a Flash Fiction Friday, where I'm going to read 3 short, scary stories: The Lake, My Friend, and Baby Monitor. The Lake. He blinked slowly, his thoughts fighting sluggishly to catch up with his surroundings. The cold, sharp gravel cut into his cheek and temple, the throbbing pain in his head pounding with each rapid heartbeat. His grazed and bleeding palms and knuckles pushed painfully into the rough ground as he dizzily raised his head. The crackling heat of the fire beside him made him lean away, shielding his eyes from the brightness that cut through the pitch-black night. Behind him the lake lapped, scraping the gravel against itself, and up his oil and dirt-smeared legs. Stumbling to his feet, he squinted at the fire, the curling paint and twisted metal that was all that was left of his jet ski. Where was everyone else? Was he alone? He staggered forward, his eyes raking the floor in the increasing blackness as he went further from his destroyed jet ski. Suddenly a scream filled the air, and he increased his pace, his footsteps shakily accelerating, keeping pace with his rapidly pounding heart. A dark trail came into focus, splattered chaotically on the ground. Was that blood? He lurched forward and landed, sprawled painfully on the ground, his head coming to rest next to a dark object draped with material. The unmistakable shadowed shape of a severed human foot. The scream split the air once more, calling his name in desperation. As if the scream had physically picked him up and propelled him forward, he ran towards it. "Help me! We need to get him to a hospital quickly!" The owner of the scream, holding a lifeless body, pleaded with him to help him carry it toward the distant house. His hands slid helplessly from the leg as he tried to pick it up, slick from dark, warm blood. Struggling under the weight, they lurched and staggered toward the dimly lit windows, the darkness making them blind, unseen objects brushing and wrapping around their legs. Dropping the lifeless body, he advanced cautiously to the door of the run-down house, raising his bloodied knuckles to hammer on the door. No sound emitted from the house. The dim windows stared down at him ominously. His breath heaved laboriously as he stared in desperation around the dark lake, when a soft shift of gravel nearby drew his attention sharply to the side of the house. "Hello?" His rough, cracking voice called cautiously. And as he advanced toward the dark corner, the grinning face with dark, bloodshot eyes peered around the edge. My friend. He has been there as long as I can remember. When I was a boy, I would only catch glimpses of him. A dark glance around a faraway tree in the park, a black shimmer in the corner of my eye across the football field. In my teens, while I stood in parks drinking and smoking, he would be there, as still as the surface of a dark pond in winter, staring at me. His face was blank, his features blending into one another, smudged and erased. I would return his gaze occasionally, curious but wary, interested but distracted. Once I asked my mother who he was. I pointed and I told her of the shadow man that follows me. She could not see him. My imaginary friend, she called him. Friend. I could see him as a friend. He was always there, watching me. As a young adult, I fell ill with pneumonia. The coughing raked at my lungs, drawing my insides out of my ravaged throat. I heard my breath come in a rattle as I gasped for air. As I lay in the hospital bed, unable to move, I watched him in the corner, as close as he had ever been. I saw his outline, clothed in black, but cast in shadow. The faint outline of his lips drawn up in a soft smile, his black eyes fixed and shining. He began to retreat over the days and weeks, until he was back to his distant watch point, smudged and indistinct once more. I went home. As the years passed and I grew older, he moved closer. I would see him in the garden, silent and still by an old apple tree. Then he moved into the house. I saw him look away only once. As I sat in the lounge reading, I had my focus on him from the corner of my eye. Suddenly, he looked from me to my wife. His empty eyes locked on her for 5 seconds, before glancing back to me. I looked at her. She smiled at me, her now wrinkled face scrunching into a smile, eyes twinkling, then looked back to her book. She did not wake up the next morning. From then on, it was just me and my friend. We would sit beside each other on the sofa, clock ticking away the seconds, days turning to night outside. I lie now, old and tired in my bed. My feet are cold, and I always feel pain. But my friend is here beside me. He gets into my bed with me and strokes my hair softly. I look into his clear, void-like eyes and am comforted. He lifts his shadow hand and gently slides my eyes closed. Baby monitor. 24th September. Today was the first day I had to put the heating on. There was a frost and I had to scrape the car before I took Beth to nursery. John has had to go to Luxembourg for the week again, so it's just me and her. I don't think I got even 2 hours of sleep last night. I'll go for a nap this afternoon before I pick her up. I just hope she is tired enough to sleep all night tonight. How much longer will it take for her to sleep through? Maybe something in her room is waking her. I'll check that before bedtime. I hope she'll eat dinner tonight as well. Maybe since it's just me and her, I'll make something easy. Not much happening today. Dentist tomorrow. 25th September. Another night of no sleep. I checked her room and there is nothing obvious that would be waking her. She has started to chat to herself at 2 a.m. That's when it starts. She talks to an imaginary person with a funny face and laughs to herself. It's so cute. I just wish it wasn't at 2 a.m. I could do with a proper night's sleep finally. She said she had a great day at nursery. They went into the forest and pretended there was a monster they had to run from. She was very tired when she came home, proper grump. I've put her to bed earlier tonight. Maybe she was going to bed too late. We'll soon see. I must remember to put everything back properly tonight. I found the Calpol bottle beside her bed. I must have picked it up without thinking and left it there. That could be so dangerous if she got into that. Strange, though. I didn't even give her Calpol last night. September 26th. The Calpol bottle was there again this morning. What did I do? Go to pick it up and just put it back down again? But I distinctly remember picking it up. My lack of sleep is really getting bad. If I'm actually a danger to her, that's no good. When John gets home, I'll get him to see to her one night. I always wake when she wakes, though, no matter what. They say it doesn't last forever. I just need to grin and bear it. Last night was probably the worst this week. Her chat to her imaginary friend is now louder than ever, and she must be having nightmares before she wakes because she doesn't laugh anymore. She shouts, "No, too scary, go away," and then cries until I come to her. I've just ordered takeaway for dinner tonight. I'm too exhausted to cook. I don't like ordering when John is not here. A stranger coming to the door knowing I'm by myself just leaves me feeling vulnerable. I'll watch one episode of that new Netflix program and go to bed. I don't sleep well when John isn't here, even when Beth isn't awake. 27th September. I haven't written until now. I was just too tired. But it's 2 a.m, I guess technically the 28th. And I'm scared. I'm watching Beth's baby monitor, and I don't know if it's a glitch or what, but I can see a shadow. It walks from the wardrobe to the window, always in the same circuit. Sometimes it looks like it is standing over the baby. Whenever I go through to her room, I can't see anything. No shadow. Everything normal. The monitor must be broken. The pixels, or whatever makes up the screen, must be going dark in different places. Surely. I need to get some sleep. I'll get John to look at the monitor when he gets home. It's either the monitor or my eyes. Beth is talking quietly to her imaginary friend again. Hopefully she'll fall back to sleep herself, then I can get some sleep. The speaker must be breaking at the same time as the screen. Every time I lie down, the white noise sounds like breathing. 28th September, 3 a.m. I can hear it. I can hear a whisper. Am I dreaming? I was sure I was awake, but everything seems not real. I hear Beth talking quietly. Then I hear a whisper. The white noise of the monitor is so loud it's hard to hear. But there is something talking to her. Maybe it's an echo. I need to go and get her. My mind feels like it is falling. I can't figure out how to make myself move. I just stare. Is this what it feels like to go mad? I heard it again. I'm going to get her. 4 a.m. It's in my room. Thank you for listening. I hope you liked it. My name is Shar, and this is the And Other Stories podcast. See you next time.